Hi guys, how are you? And welcome to today's longer lesson where I'm going to be taking you through nutrients that support your metabolism. So welcome. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Naomi Judge and I am a naturopath and I help women connect the dots between their health, happiness and hormones. And today I am going to be talking about your metabolism, how that can be upregulated using nutrients, and also I'm going to be touching on a few interactions with your hormones, metabolism, stubborn weight, depression, that kind of thing. So I'm going to go in and out of that, meanwhile getting through the key nutrients that are fabulous for your metabolism. So your metabolism, what is it? Your metabolism, it runs so many systems in your body. It regulates blood vessel dilation, whether they dilate or contract. It regulates brain health, memory, brain fetal development is a big one. It regulates DNA transcription, so that's actually the copying of DNA. It regulates your own body's thermostat. It regulates calcium and metabolism in the body. It supports your neurotransmitters like dopamine, adrenaline, those kind of things. So your metabolism is huge. Your metabolism also regulates catabolism and anabolism, okay? These are the breaking down and the kind of building up of nutrients, muscles in your body. So if your metabolism's not working well, no matter what you're doing, whether it's exercise or what you're eating, what you'll find is you'll have more fat gain to muscle gain. So what's essentially happening is the catabolism, which is a breakdown of the muscle tissue, is happening faster than anabolism, which is the build-up. So we've got anabolic and catabolic. So anabolic, hence anabolic steroids, the build up, catabolic, build down. So that's why there can be some discrepancy in your muscle mass, in your fat mass when you're working out or when you're eating well, because if your metabolism isn't working, it's not really going to do much. And the problem with the metabolism, if there's a reason it's not working and you keep kind of pushing, you can actually push your metabolism in the wrong direction. So the more you push, the worse it can get. So you need to find that kind of like underlying cause of your slow, sluggish, not working metabolism, or a metabolism that's working in the opposite way. Some signs and symptoms of a sluggish metabolism. One big telltale sign is low ferritin. That's low iron stores. So your serum iron might be good, but your ferritin will be low. This is one of the biggest signs that I see that your metabolism is not working. So one of your metabolic functions is to break down, assimilate nutrients, absorption, and put them where they need to be. That's your zinc, that's your iron, that's your magnesium, that's your calcium. So it's common with a low metabolic rate to have teeth problems. So you need fillings, or you have teeth loss, or you have receding gums, because receding gums are due to a shrinking jaw. So you're losing bone loss, you're losing calcium from your jaw, hence the gums recede. That's the biggest reason your gums recede. You might have fillings, you might have soft teeth, you might have bacteria in the mouth because the minerals are being released from your teeth, and that's causing kind of a bacteria to thrive. Where was I going? So that was calcium. Low ferritin, so that's low stores of iron in your body. You might get hair loss, you might get restless leg syndrome, you might get depression, you might get anxiety. But again, the low metabolic function means that you can't get your serum iron put into storage. So that's what you need. You need that stored iron. Then we've got magnesium deficiency. So maybe magnesium's not going to where it needs to go. Silica, all of those minerals. So you could have anxiety, depression, leg twitches, hair loss, dry skin, all of those kind of signs that indicate that your body's not able to utilize minerals. And even if you take good quality vitamins, if your metabolic function is not working, it won't be able to assimilate those vitamins, those minerals effectively. Stubborn weight loss is a big one that indicates that you've got a slow metabolic function. Restless leg syndrome, due to two reasons. Restless leg syndrome can be due to dopamine issues, and restless leg syndrome can also be due to low ferritin as well. Depression is a big one when it comes to low metabolic function, because your metabolism is governed by your thyroid, and the function of your thyroid, and one of the functions of thyroid hormone 3 is to regulate your adrenaline, your noradrenaline, your dopamine, your serotonin. If your metabolic function, if your thyroid's not working effectively, those are not going to be regulated. So depression is a big one I see with low metabolic function, and it's really difficult to treat this kind of depression with an antidepressant. So if you've tried antidepressants, they're not working for you, that might be a big sign that it's your metabolic function. Heavy, painful periods is another one. Here's something to do with hormones for you. So thyroid hormone 3, which acts at the tissue, the source of the tissue site, so your liver, your kidneys, your fatty tissue, your gut tissue. Thyroid hormone 3 stimulates the production of progesterone. Progesterone supports your menstrual cycle, it supports ovulation, it prevents heavy painful periods, it prevents endometriosis, it prevents ovarian cancers, endometrial cancers, it prevents thickening of the lining, it prevents recurrent miscarriage, and it stimulates fertility and it supports fertility. So if you've got low T3 due to low metabolic rate, due to low functioning thyroid, you may also have low progesterone, and this will be causing heavy painful periods. And all those low progesterone body signs and symptoms that you might get, like craving carbs, depression before your period, stubborn weight, constipation or diarrhea, so all of those icky symptoms that you could get. Dry skin is a biggie, so you may not be absorbing your zinc. With zinc deficiency, you will get those hard, cracked heels. The bottom of your feet will get hard and they will get cracked. You'll also get that kind of snake skin on your legs, snake skin on your the snake skin I mean. It's like dry, but it's not kind of dry, it just looks like a snaky skin, and that's normally on the lower legs, and that can be a huge sign that your thyroid and your metabolic function is not working. Next, cold hands and feet. The reason for this is thyroid hormones have kind of a cool action. Thyroid hormones constrict your peripheral blood vessels. Now, what this constriction does is it helps you to retain heat. Hence why when your thyroid and your metabolism is overactive, hyperactive metabolism, hyperactive thyroid, you get sweaty palms. When you've got a low-acting metabolism, a low-acting thyroid, you get cold hands and feet. And again, one of the telltale signs I find is clients who are either cold all the time or you have to wear socks to bed. That's a huge sign that your metabolic function is not working effectively. Constipation. Constipation is a massive sign. However, constipation doesn't work with everybody in terms of the low metabolic function. What I've found in clinical practice, constipation tends to cause issues with those that are prone to constipation. So when your metabolic function falls, your constipation gets worse. But some people have the bowel habits, they go daily, and even if they've got low thyroid, it doesn't tend to bother it. But what happens there? T3 acts on the smooth muscle tissue of your colon, so it helps to support the movement of the colon. Now, if you go through an extreme stress, adrenaline can hinder your metabolic function, but also what adrenaline can do, and this is when people get stressed, they might get constipated, adrenaline stops the smooth muscle contraction, so you'll get constipated. Another action is dopamine. Your metabolism supports dopamine production. Dopamine again acts on the smooth muscle and supports peristalsis, which is the movement. So you can see there that if you've got low metabolic function, you might have low T3, or you might have low dopamine, or you might have high adrenaline, and that's all impacting on your bowel and may cause constipation. So those are some of the main signs and symptoms to look out for that I see. And there's also other issues: hair loss, dry lips, dry eyes, weight gain, stubborn weight gain, fatigue, feeling really tired in the morning, feeling cold, puffiness, all of these kind of symptoms lead to low metabolic function. But one of the biggest that clients do notice is this issue with not being able to lose weight. The reason that can be such an issue is because your metabolic function happens kind of within the cell, within the mitochondria, and you want to speed that up. And you want not speed it up, you want that to be working effectively. When it's working effectively, it kind of works at producing things like adenine triphosphate, which is ATP. ATP is what helps you produce energy, keeps your mitochondria functioning, kind of keeps everything moving, va-va-voom, moving along like a really good engine. Things that slow that down, obviously low metabolism and slow that down, can be things like heavy metals, high estrogen, toxicity, mercury, PBA, all these toxins. What they do is they sit in the cell and they essentially put the cell to sleep. So the more toxins that you have exposure to, the more heavy metals that you have exposure to, the lower your metabolic rate. The reason being, and this goes with medication as well, the oral contraceptive pill, all of these things, your body wants to protect you. So the way it protects you is it slows down your metabolic rate, puts your metabolic rate to sleep so that you hold on to these toxins and they don't get disturbed and they don't go into your liver and your kidneys. So it's kind of a protection mechanism. So be aware that one of the first places you might need to go to up your metabolic rate is detoxing, dry skin brushing, hot and cold showers, cryotherapy, infrared saunas, all of those kind of things. Mobilize those toxins, because the slower your metabolic rate, the more likelihood that they're stuck there. Then they'll build up and they'll keep building up. They'll be causing fatty tissue, slower metabolic rate, and boom, 5 or 10 years later, your weight is impossible to lose. So you really need to get on top of that. Okay, let's talk about the nutrients and why they're good. When it comes to your metabolic rate, you need to work on a few different functions. You need to work on your mitochondria, sort of like the energy source, producing ATP within the cell. You need to work on toxins and making sure there's no toxicity, making sure you're detoxing, and you need to make sure your thyroid's working appropriately. If your thyroid's not working, your metabolic rate won't be doing what you want it to do. One of my go-to is L-carnitine. L-carnitine is freaking amazing. It's amazing at boosting the intracellular metabolic rate. It's amazing at boosting ATP, which is adenine triphosphate, which gives you a little bit more energy. Wonderful anti-aging, wonderful at releasing toxins from the cell. I think this is a wonderful one. And this goes out to you, particularly if you like to exercise and you're not losing weight. L-acetyl carnitine. So you need to be taking up to about 2 grams a day. So that's 500 milligrams when you exercise, maybe twice, and then maybe twice again. So up to about 2 grams a day, you'll notice a difference, and it will support your metabolism, it will boost it, and it will actually support weight loss. It helps to increase your metabolic rate. Remember what I said. If you've got any issues with your mitochondria, you're going to have a slow metabolic rate. If you've got any issues with your thyroid, you're going to have a slow metabolic rate. So that means when you exercise, your metabolic rate is going to stay slow. You need to give it something to speed it up, as well as doing the exercise. So exercise with L-acetyl carnitine is great. Now, when it comes to carnitine, there's so many different brands out there. There's Doctor's Best. Bioceuticals is the one I use. I love Bioceuticals. There's Thorn, and then there's the powdered acetyl carnitine, and I can't remember the brand. But locally, I love Bioceuticals, and then online on iHerb, Doctor's Best is always great. Pure Innovation is always great, and Thorn is always great. So there's some good ones out there. They normally come in 500 milligrams, and you can just take 2 of those when you exercise. But even upping to 4 of those when you exercise, so you're getting 2 grams, you'll notice the difference. It supports your ATP production, and it will give you that energy. So that's just an all-rounder that's pretty safe for everyone, that will boost your metabolic function, boost your mitochondria function, help with detoxing, and support any stubborn weight loss as well if you're not losing weight. Next is bitter orange extract. Now, this isn't one I use all the time, and it's not one that, there are some studies out there that have shown that it could have some negative effects. This I believe is mainly due to the source of the bitter orange. You need to make sure it's good source bitter orange, it's organic bitter orange. I know Blackmore's do a metabolism boosting supplement with bitter orange. MediHerb do some nice herbs with bitter orange, as well as a good brand. You don't want to be using kind of Chinese herb variations, because those ones can be fake and they can also be full of toxins as well. So you want to make sure it's a really good form, about 500 milligrams. Bitter orange does increase your metabolic rate when used with exercise. So again, it's really good to be using with exercise, and it has been shown to help that metabolic rate. When we boost the metabolic rate, remember that produces more energy within the cell, and slowly over time that will help with your all-round metabolism. So that's bitter orange at about 500 milligrams when you exercise. Next is green tea. Green tea is absolutely fabulous. Not only does it contain theanine that's relaxing, not only does it contain antioxidants which are great for aging, not only does it stimulate your digestion, it's a very, very good tea, but also supplement. And what it does help is it helps to regulate your blood sugar, which has a knock-on effect to your metabolism. If you've got any blood sugar issues and you've got high insulin, your metabolism's most likely going to be slow, and so you want to really stabilize your blood sugar. Green tea, 800 milligrams, has been shown to do that. But also what green tea does and has been shown to do is increase thermogenesis, which increases fat oxidation. So that's a breakdown of fat in the cells. So it's wonderful to support weight loss. I do have clients that drink green tea so specifically for this, and normally I recommend about 3 cups of good quality organic green tea to support weight loss. But green tea itself really does boost that metabolic function, and it's nice and calming if you do suffer from anxiety because it has the theanine in. So those are the 3 supplements that kind of boost the thermogenesis, boost your mitochondria, support ATP. Then you want to kind of look at your thyroid. What's your thyroid doing? And if you've got low thyroid, or if you've got a goiter, if you've got nodules, if you get recurrent coughs or colds, iodine is the way to go. You can either get iodine naturally in the diet. Iodine helps to regulate your hormones, and it helps to boost your metabolic rate. You do need sodium. So how iodine works is when you have the iodine, it gets transported with sodium. So what I have found is if people take iodine without sodium, sometimes after a while they get headaches, or you might get fogginess, or you might get pain in the arms or pain in the shoulder with iodine. So generally with iodine, sometimes you do need sodium. So I might have a glass of water and I might put 1/4 teaspoon of good quality salt in, and I'll take my iodine supplement with that. I don't take iodine every day. I might take it a couple of times a week, and it really boosts my metabolism and my thyroid. Iodine really keeps my body kind of warm, but I'm very careful with the amount, and you want to be low in iodine before you actually start supplementing. If you do supplement and you've got high iodine, it will lead to overactive metabolism, weight loss, sweatiness, anxiety. So you just need to be careful, and I would take it with salt. So what iodine does is it gets transported by a sodium molecule, and then what it does is that sodium molecule joins it to tyrosine, which is an amino acid. The iodine and the tyrosine then make thyroid hormone 4, and then what happens is protein enzymes, proteases, come along and they break down T4 and T3 to make T3, which then activates on tissue. So you can see in that process we need iodine, we need sodium, and we need tyrosine, and we need digestive enzymes to make thyroid hormone T3 to boost your metabolism. Does that make sense now? I hope so. But some of the biggest signs of this iodine deficiency will be a goiter, nodules, coughs and colds all the time, recurrent chest infections, hair loss, low white blood cells, cancers as well. Getting recurrent cancers can be low iodine. So that being said, tyrosine is something that you most likely would need. It's an amino acid. Again, you can get it on its own in a form from Pure Innovations, nutraceuticals, bioceuticals. You can also get it in a thyroid form from Metagenics, bioceuticals, I love Thorn. You can get those from iHerb. So all of those have really good quality tyrosine, with or without iodine as well. So I would just go with those. 500 milligrams twice of iodine is tyrosine is a good way to boost your metabolism, boost your metabolic rate, and also support your thyroid and support thyroid hormone 3 as well. So iodine, no more than about 150 micromilligrams. You can get, again, those same brands, you can get iodine as well. Or you can also add things like Dulce Flakes to your diet, and that has a little bit of iodine in. Spirulina has a little bit of iodine. With green tea, remember that it does have caffeine in, but it has theanine in. So if you're going to have green tea, you always, anything with caffeine in, you have before midday. Don't have it in the afternoon. But green tea is fabulous because it does have theanine in. So if you have it at about, 11 o'clock in the morning, it should create some relaxation as well. It's not like caffeine. If you get anxious with caffeine, it's because there's no theanine there. But black tea and green tea are relaxing because the theanine is so beautiful. But always have things with caffeine before midday. Alpha lipoic acid, 500 milligrams. Alpha lipoic acid supports your metabolic rate. It boosts your metabolic rate, but what it does is it helps your mitochondria make ATP, which is the energy source in your body, so it supports that production. So in terms of these 6 nutrients, you can experiment, or you can decide what it is you're really trying to do. If you know you've got low thyroid function, you know you need to support your thyroid function, you can go more towards the thyroid supplements, the tyrosine, the iodine, those kind of supplements. If you feel that your metabolic rate is low, but you're losing weight okay, you just may be a little bit tired, or you're aging a little bit quicker, so you're aging a little bit faster, you can go for these nice mitochondria kind of stimulators like L-acetyl carnitine, alpha lipoic acid. Those are fantastic. And then anyone can really take green tea, but again, because it's got caffeine, take it early. And I would also just suggest to anyone to try L-acetyl carnitine. Try it for a couple of weeks and just see how it makes you feel, because it's a great supplement in terms of the whole mitochondria, in terms of detoxing, supporting your metabolism, and it will give you that energy, and it's fantastic as well for anti-aging. So those are the 6 nutrients. It's L-acetyl carnitine, bitter orange, green tea, iodine, tyrosine, alpha lipoic acid. And with any of those, remember that when it comes to your foods and when it comes to amino acids and protein naturally boost your metabolic function. So if you're a vegan or vegetarian, try and be taking some extra protein supplements. If you're not having protein, it's going to slower your metabolic rate. So you need to be adding these in: rice protein or vegan collagen protein, or fish collagen protein if you're not doing beef. But adding these proteins in to boost your metabolic rate and kind of get that revved up within the muscle, and that will support your muscle growth. And then the more muscle growth you have, the better your metabolic rate. So I hope that helped. I rushed through that a little bit. Judy, I answered your question. Green tea that has caffeine, just don't have it after a certain time. I sometimes have a green tea or a black tea at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I find that doesn't affect my sleep, and I go to bed earlier, but I would never have anything post 2 o'clock. But generally speaking, you definitely don't want to be having coffee after 11 o'clock in the morning, because the caffeine itself doesn't raise cortisol. What it does is it prevents cortisol from lowering, so you have higher cortisol in your blood going on into the evening, and lower melatonin, instead of it doing that nice switch over at around 6 to 8 p.m. at night. And Sharon, is there a brand that you recommend? So I would go for it, like I mentioned, Bioceuticals and Metagenics and Mediherb all have, oh, hi Ollie, hope you're having a nice holiday. Bioceuticals, Metagenics, all of those brands, and then Thorn, Pure Innovation, Doctor's Best. I love those brands. They're good quality brands. So I would go with those. Get them from iHerb, or you can get them from your local health food store. I hope you're having a nice holiday. That's my brother. He never usually joins me. It must be the time. Enjoy the sunshine. Enjoy the beach. Love you. All right, everybody. I'm going to be going now. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you all next time. See you all.